All right, Tuesday.
Hey.
All right.
How are we doing, Vincent?
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. It's going to be some fireworks in Ledgeco today.
Yes.
There's going to be a fight, another fight. You know,
That's
it's funny.
that's why I'm so anxious.
You know, it's funny because every time there's a big war, you can tell what side people are on depending on what they call it. Mm-hmm. Right. So for example, the Americans have the Civil War, and everybody calls it the Civil War. But if you're from the South, they call it the War of Northern Aggression. Yeah. They got a different name from how they saw it.
So what about the Ledgeco War today?
Well, the Ledgeco War today, we've been calling it the battle for. People have been calling it the battle for the country parks.
Okay.
But today, there's going to be the other side, and we're talking about Lao Wong Fat and the DAB, and they probably call it the War for Villagers' Rights. Right? So the government has come and the government surprised the hell out of everybody when they picked 3 villages and said, we're going to, instead of expanding the villages, we're going to make these 3 and bring the country park into the enclaves and make them more village. And what that means is that if you are an indigenous, what they call an indigenous villager, and you want to build there, if it's part of the enclave, you can pretty much do whatever you want. There are some claims, there are some regulations, but everybody knows that enforcement is 0. And if the planning board wants to call me out on that, they can, but there's wide backing for that enforcement is 0. But if it becomes part of country park, they can't build their house without the approval of the AFCD, right? Agriculture, Fisheries, and Conservation Department, and they are much more strict about what can be done in a country park.
Yep, because the lands department is so busy that they won't be able to check the land lease, and even if they want to revoke the land lease, it will be extremely difficult politically.
Yeah, like a big.
But can you take back the land from your citizen? I think it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But for AFCD, if they want to enforce, no construction or no development in country parks is actually much more established. Yeah,
they've got a little bit more teeth. Country parks have a little bit more protection because I know within the enclaves right now, people say, oh yeah, we're applying for something, and years before the application comes, they go out and tear down trees and rip things up, and they just go ahead, dump sewage in rivers. It's crazy. All right. So today, the Hung Ye Cook, right, represented by Lao Wong Fat, and they're teaming up with the DAB to fight this in Tai Long Wan.
So what is also Tai Long Wan?
Yeah,
in
back
particular.
to Tai Long Wan. Yeah. So you remember when the Link REIT had their IPO, and the people that wanted to block it went and found some old lady and just got her to put her name down? Well,
for judicial review.
Yeah, somebody had to put their name on it. So they've kind of done this. They found some old guy that was, he's in his 80s, and he's like, I was going to build a house there, I just didn't get around to it.
So you mean on the one side, the villagers are saying that they have the right to build within the country parks in the enclaves area?
Well, they're afraid they're going to lose some of those rights because they have rights in the enclaves, but not in the country park. But if the enclave becomes country park, they're afraid they're going to lose their ability to build houses willy-nilly and, frankly, sell them to developers because almost none of them live there.
All right.
Right? And I know somebody will probably take issue with that, but when you look at the numbers, most of them rent them out to other people and live off, quite often in other countries. Mm-hmm. So, So look for that big battle today.
All right. So villagers will be the key word for today.
Okay. Sounds good, Vincent.
Thank you.
You bet.